We are here right now with one of the most hardworking and exciting players to watch in the UAAP, fourth-year power forward from the DLSU Green Archers, Micheal Phillips.
Yes, sir.
Micheal, thank you so much for the time and welcome here to the Scorecard.
Thank you for having me.
Micheal, it's your fourth year in the UAAP. You burst onto the scene when you first arrived here, Rookie of the Year. The following year, though, didn't make the Final Four. And then last year, you guys won the championship.
Right.
How has the experience here playing college ball in the Philippines been so far for you?
It's been amazing. Just the way you said exploded. Like when I first got here, grabe, iba talaga yung experience ko. Like pagdating yung rookie season, the first thing I remember is just the crowd. I mean, and because we had a bubble season, my very first season,
Correct.
but when we had the second round, that was the first time I was able to truly experience the LaSalle community. And I think that's the thing that kind of led me through those ups and downs in my career, you know, making it to the Final Four, missing it. And so I kind of got my faith from kind of being a part of this Philippine basketball in general. You already know, I mean, how the community is, how the fans are. Even talaga yung energy. Even when I was in the States, I never felt anything like that. So.
I like that you're incorporating some Tagalog with regards to your conversation. Your Filipino roots.
Yes.
So where do you trace your Filipino roots here in the Philippines?
Yung lola ko, taga Cebu po,
Okay.
Cebu City.
Cebu City.
Opo.
Okay.
And then doon sila lumaki. Tapos yung I have some family also in Tagaytay,
Okay.
and kind of spread out a little bit, yung mga tito ko, and so
Okay.
I remember yung pinaka masaya na memories ko when my family would come from the Philippines and when we were in the States and they would cook, you know, that would be our first time, like when they would cook Filipino food, you know, adobo, pancit, lumpia, and they would bake a whole bunch and keep it in the freezer. We would eat it for a week.
Over there in Ohio, huh?
Yes, sir.
All the way over there.
Opo.
Okay. Micheal, you pretty much embrace the Lasallian culture. Siyempre, pag sinabi nating Lasal, basketball, taas ng standards niyan. You walk into the gym, you see all the banners. Knowing that you guys have already won the championship and you're defending it this year, what are the qualities from the season 86 championship team that you see with this version of the Green Archers?
I think that's a great question. I think I would say our faith. Most importantly, first in Jesus Christ. That was something that we kind of leaned on. Lalo na sa second round, or sa first round, you know, we're up and down, just like leading up. And then we had that second round run, I believe, where we sweeped in. And you can ask JC, Earl, I mean, we were in the locker room, we were holding on to our crosses, and we have a saying, like a God did. We go, God did, you know, and so God was there for us in the highs and in the lows. And so it's faith in Jesus and then faith in each other.
Yeah.
Faith in believing, you know, we put the work in, we've been through hell and back together, and then faith in the community. You know, they have a saying, I'm sure you know, you've been to say, you know, it's the never shall we fail.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're not going to lose, we're never going to face hardship, but when we do, that's not going to really tear us down. And we're always going to, when we face hardship, we're going to get back up. And I think that's a characteristic that we have, you know, this year, that we're trying to keep that faith together. And especially now, we're going to be trying to defend the championship, which is a lot harder. So that's the thing that's kind of kept this team together.
Marami nagsasabi na itong version ng Green Archers, you guys right now, season 87, is one of the strongest LaSalle teams of all time. And we're talking about during the time of the forfeit, sina Don Aliado, Renner Netualo, the time of Geronteng, Ben Embala, JB Casio. Sinasabi nila na this is one of the strongest LaSalle teams ever. Your reaction to the chatter na eto daw ang isa sa mga pinakamalakas?
Well, for me, I wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't say I could rank, because they were the ones who came before us and really set everything up for us. I remember right after we lost and we didn't make the Final Four, I reached out to all the previous captains, Jerome Tang, Andre Caraca, of course, Coach Mon, Sila Mac Cardona, and I mean, Mayor Francis Zamora. I was like, you know, what did you guys do to get where I'm trying to be? You know, what made you successful? You know, how did you guys get through this? Napakahirap talaga. Sabi na, napakahirap pero kaya nyo yan. Kaya nyo, basta you guys really need to be together. They always, the same thing, together. Team chemistry, that strong 16. And so when people can say, oh, this LaSalle team is strong, I can't say, because I'm just trying to I'm trying to reap what they sowed in us. And you see it, they're at the games.
Yeah.
They had a ring ceremony when they all came to the campus and really gave us that kind of encouragement last year, right before the Final Four. And I mean, it's an honor just to be mentioned with those legends.
Well, I've never heard any player share that kind of story wherein you actually reached out to captains then, like in the past, like even from way back. That's amazing insight right there. Michael, you also had this great opportunity to be a member of Gilas Pilipinas, wear Pilipinas across your chest.
Right.
Talk about that experience, and I'm sure you gained so much learnings from the players that you were teammates with in that experience.
That was one of the biggest blessings I think I've had, just to be able to represent the country. I mean, being in Cambodia, you would think we're far from the Philippines. The Philippines made it home court. I'm sure in almost all the Gilas, I mean, it's like the Philippines always come out and support, but the biggest lesson I got from that SEA Games, being with those veterans, is what it means to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Putting your own, agenda behind and really playing for something as big as the Philippines. It gave me a different perspective, not only in basketball, but in life. What it really means to kind of be selfless and really try to have that community sort of grind. And so I would stay up all night talking to guys, Justin Brownlee, Chris Ross, Arvin Tolentino, just of course Brownlee, Steinhardt. I mean, those guys were just oozing with wisdom, oozing with places that I want to be, what they achieved. And they were just so personable. It was me and Mason and my Kuya Ben were the rookies there, and they were just so selfless in giving us all this knowledge, what it meant to represent the country, to play at that high level. And so I was just there. I was just so happy to be there and get up and down with those guys and just kind of, that I just remember the first, national anthem. I'll never forget that moment. Yeah.
A lot of people are calling Justin Brownlee, our naturalized player, Noipi. So having the chance to play with him in Gilas, what was the important lesson that you picked up from Justin?
He would always tell me, he said, embrace the moment. He said, you never get back these years of your youth. And he likes to call himself old, but I said, when I saw him play, you're far from old, but he said, just really, take advantage of where you're at, enjoy. This is something, like he said in the SEA Games, a moment that not many people get an opportunity to be a part of. And sometimes we get so caught up with, looking ahead and looking behind, and we kind of miss, being present. And he just said, take care of your body, take care of your health, but most of all, take care of the people around you, because those are the people that are really gonna take you to that next level. And I noticed it. When we were in that semifinal game, the final game, we really leaned on each other. We really leaned on, it was a whole group effort. I'll never forget that moment with Coach Tim, how we were in the hotel leading up to the game, how they were preparing, how we all were blended together in such a short amount of time. And we're still brothers today. I call them up and hey, Kuya Chris Ross, everybody, and just being in the present and just really having that family aspect.
Michael, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, I can tell that you were raised well. You talk about your faith. Your Kuya Ben has businesses.
Yes, sir.
You're not thinking, you're not just a basketball player, you're thinking beyond that. What are your other goals as a person? I know you're still young, a lot of time for you, but do you see yourself doing other things in the future aside from basketball?
Absolutely. Just to share a real quick story, I think it was back in 2020, COVID, of course. I was one of my darkest moments, I think, in my life. I'm sure you've probably been there before. You have as well. Where everything kind of just was kind of swirling around you, very overwhelmed. Of course, everything with the pandemic was going on, but I just heard a voice, and it was God's voice. He said, "My son, I'm going to give you a platform, and I want you to use it to spread my glory." And just to give my personal testimony, he gave me everything I have. He gave me my talents, where I am today, and unfortunately before I kind of let it get to my head. And so when you say, how I carry myself, of course I was really blessed to have two great parents who really put their heart and soul But sometimes, of course, no matter how good you raise a child, they can always stray away. And that's kind of what I did. And I kind of let God's blessings get to my head, and I became prideful. And just recently, he showed me that he took away kind of everything that I thought I needed. He took away all my talents, everything. And basically, he took me all the way down to rock bottom to show me that he's the rock at the bottom. And so for me, everything who I am today is because of God. And so when you ask what I want to do outside of basketball, I really want to use everything in my whole entire being to really inspire people and inspire people through not only my story, but what their story is. You know, everybody's going through something, and everyone has their own sort of troubles and pursuits, but the thing I love about basketball, it brings everybody together. And I'm able to play here with a lot of people, and we're all kind of able to experience these things, experience these games. But when I get to those high points in my career, I want really people to see, when they see me, they see Christ. You know, it's not I, but through Christ in me. And so hopefully something, you know, to do with preaching, like my father, he's also a reverend.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And something to do with just giving back to Christ and giving back to the community who kind of brought me here today.
You know what, with the way you speak, I feel like you could be a motivational speaker. Did you ever consider becoming a motivational speaker? I mean, hearing Coach Shot is a great motivational speaker. Ikaw ba, have you ever considered being that?
Coach Shot I was surprised. We were at the Inspire Academy getting ready. He can get a whole bunch of pro guys together and get he's he's very special motivational speaker. I remember a lot of stories from him before.
Your moniker, everybody calls you Motor Mike. Where did that nickname originate from? Obviously, syempre, you play with a high motor, you're full of energy, you're all over the place, you crash the boards. Where did that nickname Motor Mike come from? And you seem to have embraced that persona as well.
That's a good question. I think just coming here in the Philippines, even when I was young, there's always like a different type of air when I'd be here. And in that rookie season, through all my seasons, if you look at it, I'm so blessed to have guys. In my first season, I had Baltazar, I had Lohera, I had all these guys. And of course, I got Kiambao. And so, sila ang bahala sa offense, sa scoring. So, ako gusto ko lang gumawa yung mga dirty work, yung mga rebound. It's like, masaya ko talaga, like, let me just do my role, like, just, I don't know, something about it. I just really love just kind of being that dirt guy, that grind guy, and just getting a rebound, passing it to Kevin. That just fuels me. It gives me a different energy. And I've never really been too keen on the scoring and the highlights. I just really want to kind of make those plays for my teammates, and they look good. Then I'm like, and so I think when I first came here, I was just starstruck of all the crowd. Not when we were winning, but when we lost, they really came out. And so that's really kind of where I get my energy from, and they're always encouraging me, you know, like in those times where I really do get tired, I get my strength from them, and I just say, Motor Mike, I just hear it, I'm like, wow, you know, it's just something about it. It just, you know, really gives me that strength to keep going. Yeah.
Well, Motor Mike, it was a pleasure hearing your story. Thank you so much. Tuloy-tuloy lang. And I'm sure wherever you go, you'll be able to inspire everybody around you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Micheal Phillips here on the Scorecard on the Billionaire News Channel.
Yes, sir.